Hey there, if you decide to watch this video, I'm going to teach you things that you don't know now, and among the things that you learn in this video, they may significantly change the quality of your life if you decide to give them a try. These are all things that I have researched over the past 4 years and have tried myself. I turned myself into a guinea pig. So here's the things that I'd like you to know. Number one, there's something called subconscious affirmations in our world. And subconscious affirmations are something you play when you sleep at night. And what these do is that they reprogram your subconscious mind. So you can look at Bruce Lipton, you can go bounce this off of anybody else that's in this same space, and you will learn that when you listen to affirmations when you sleep at night, you're accessing the child part of your brain, which means 1 through 7, we're in a programming phase. This programming phase itself, hang on, we're going down some big hill over here, and this is a giant rock drop off. I don't want to get stuck. Hang 10. Yeah, we're gonna be fine. Shit ain't gonna break. But anyways, subconscious affirmations, if you play these while you sleep at night, what's gonna happen is that they're gonna reprogram your brain, which means 1 through 7, you're in a programming phase, which is like the child brain, where we're in this imaginary state, we're imagining things, we're taught to imagine that like strangers are actually bad, which is totally false. So, simple way to do this is when you sleep at night, all you have to do is go on YouTube and type in like subconscious affirmations. You'll be able to find a ton of these. But the one that I specifically suggest is called Rising Higher Meditation Self-Love Affirmation. So that's another creator online. You are more than welcome to go find her. Just type in self-love affirmation, Rising Higher Meditation, self-love, and this is gonna deliver you a video that changed my life. And what I mean by change my life is the person that I am today, I contribute to finding self-love, to realizing that I was drunk every weekend, doing things that I shouldn't do, piling my body with garbage that made me feel like garbage. So, number one takeaway, just listen to self-love affirmations when you sleep at night. It'll take about 45 to 63 days for them to kick in. It took about 26 days for me because I was also fasting. And the reason I say 45 to 63 days is because of a book called Habits of a Happy Brain. That's another doctor. And then the book called The One Thing, that I don't know who wrote that one because I apologize. I just don't really remember authors anymore. I just remember names of books and the biggest takeaway that they taught me, right? Like we've been taught a thought and we're thinking it. And these are how you reprogram some of those thoughts that we've been taught that we're actively thinking. Like I actively fucking hated myself and I didn't even know it, but that's why I just led the shitty life that I was living and I hated everything and everyone, including myself. So self-love affirmations, subconscious, when you're sleeping at night, you have to play them when you sleep. It's gonna be really uncomfortable at first, but I guarantee you it's life-changing. At least it was for me. Now, number 2, if you're listening to subconscious affirmations when you sleep at night, the reason that it was much quicker, I believe, for me is because I was fasting. Now, fasting is known to boost your brain-derived neurotropic factor. Fasting is known to boost neurogenesis. Fasting boosts neuroplasticity. It lowers your immune response because you're not introducing all of these foreign ingredients to your body that your body is not naturally designed to process. Like, that leads us into the gut microbiome health, so we'll talk about gut microbiome health here soon. But fasting, the best way to remember fasting is wake up, don't eat, let your glycogen deplete. And what this means is that you're depleting the glycogen stores in your liver, you're allowing your body to go through a process called intermetabolic switching. You can just type in IMS, intermetabolic switching. And what that means is that your body is going from processing sugars and carbohydrates over to fats as fuel. And ketones are known to be 2.1 times more powerful at the mitochondrial cellular level, which means you want 2.1 times the energy that you have right now, like to the point where when you go to the gym, you're not burning sugars, so you don't produce as much lactic acid, so you actually don't get tired. So that's where like the runner's high comes from. Yeah, fasting is one of the most important things that I have ever layered into my life. It has changed my life. I was a 220-pound gym bro, and I think I'm like 175 right now. I should be like 185. I'm a little bit underweight because I've just been working a lot and, you know, haven't really eaten every single day, which is totally my fault and I don't advise it. So number 1, subconscious affirmations when you sleep at night, play them. There's literally gonna be a link down below on this video, and just click that link and listen to it for like 90 days every single night. It's gonna be really uncomfortable at first, but I guarantee you, you will receive significant changes in the way that you interact with people around you, even the way that you treat yourself. to the point where it only took a person 5 days of listening to it, and they said, I don't know what you're doing to me, but I'm responding different to everything. Like, things that used to upset me don't upset me anymore, and things that used to not upset me. And that's where you learn self-love. You realize that people aren't treating you the way that you deserve to be treated, so you're going to stand up for yourself, because it is not the environment that treats you the way that you want to be treated. That's the best way I can explain it. So fasting, that's a little bit difficult for some people. Talk to your doctor, talk to your PCP, or work with our dietitian. One of the biggest things that I can tell you that I learned about fasting is something called B5. Pantothenic acid, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. You can go, look up and be the English Nazi. But this allows you to go through intermetabolic switching a little bit faster. So when you're functioning, it's a water-soluble vitamin. Yeah. So this allows you to switch over to your ketones a little bit easier. A lot of people feel the stomach gurgling. That's the gut microbiome shifting communities. The feeling from your belly to your brain. What that is literally your brain trying to utilize ketones. Like the gut bacteria is set up for carbs and sugars. Well, it's like, feed me, feed me, feed me. You don't feed it. It's shifting its communities. Gut bacteria colonies are dying off. They're getting ready to be able to process ketones, and you're going to get hangry. So B5 is going to help you with the hangry part. You can look up Dr. Jason Fung. Dr. Jason Fung is a nephrologist in Canada. He's pioneering the treatment plan for type 2 diabetes. We are going to be a type 2 diabetes educator here once we receive that certification. So if you have type 2 diabetes, we will work with you. It is very easy to reverse. I guess very easy in a sense of, like, if you listen and you really want to do it, it can happen. All you got to do is put your energy into time to create that space. So subconscious affirmations, you're going to do those when you sleep at night. Maybe you're going to remember this phrase called wake up, don't eat, let your glycogen deplete. And your glycogen are your carbs and sugar stores in your liver from the day previous. And then you deplete those carbs and sugar stores. Then you hit this moment where it feels like you turned into Superman. You have this mental agility that you have never experienced a day in your life. Like, why is my phone even listening to me? Like, that's the stuff that bothers me. I didn't understand that. Like, why are you even listening? I'm not even talking to you. So anyways, that's that weird stuff in the reality that we live in. Your phone's listening to you. So fasting for a lot of people is going to be difficult. Dr. Jason Fung suggests green tea. If you're going to have green tea, pay attention to your calcium intake. You can develop oxalates if you don't have enough calcium intake. That's why like a chai green tea is a thing. You can put lemons in green tea, but I prefer lime because key limes are alkaline versus, a lemon, which you can do your own research, decide what you want to do. But on a typical day for me, when I went into fasting, I'd be taking my B vitamin in the morning. I'd be doing like 30 calories of almond milk, and then I would have green tea every other day. So like, you don't need to have it every single day. Green tea is going to help you with your appetite, your nutrient absorption, central nervous system, and there's one other one that I don't remember. I apologize, it's been a really long time. But yeah, so fasting, that's another staple of health. That's another one of the homeostatic lines that you can introduce and change your reality. Like fasting is another one that I attribute to everything. Like being able to process thoughts at an accelerated rate, being able to generate new brain cells, being able to boost brain-derived nootropic factor. I didn't even know what the hell brain-derived nootropic factor was. I was like, what even is this? So yeah, like subconscious affirmations and fasting alone are gonna change your life. Now, if you are fasting and you're doing like 16-8, there's alternate day fast, there's 24, there's a ton of different fasts you can do. Talk to our dietitian. We'll help you through it. We'll get the right schedule for you. But this is where you're going to be able to layer in meditation for 1 hour. The average human being working a job that they hate has an hour of time on lunch. They usually get an hour-long lunch. So now if you're fasting, you don't have to go to lunch with your coworkers. And this is where it gets a little bit crazy. Like, yes, you're going to be isolating yourself away from your coworkers, but if you genuinely don't like the job that you have, you shouldn't waste that hour of your time going and eating and maybe talking about some trivial topics and then going back to the job that you don't like. You should be optimizing your life for the lifestyle that you want. Like, I am literally driving through the middle of a forest right now because this is the lifestyle that I wanted. I wanted to be financially free and I wanted to work from a laptop, and I gave that to myself. And I'll give that to you. There's a link down below. It's the cheapest program you're gonna find on the internet because I don't want your money. I make it other places. So this is just something as a financial investment for yourself. If you don't spend money, you're not really gonna take it seriously. So cheapest program you're ever gonna experience in your life, link down below. Now, over this hour on your lunch, like for me, here's what I did. I was working at a landscaping company. I woke up in the morning. I'd have a book done by about 11 or noon. I would take my lunch, which was 1 hour, and then I would sit down and meditate for 1 hour. So now if you layer in subconscious affirmations to reprogram your brain when you're sleeping at night, you layer in fasting to boost neurogenesis, plasticity, BDNF, increase the mitochondrial functioning, you layer in meditation for 1 hour, dropping your default network, putting yourself in a more plastic state, you're going to be able to optimize your brain plasticity, which is why you're going to be able to make these changes so quickly in your life, because you're optimizing your body and brain to change. And that's all it is. It's just this computer thing up here that's processing information around us and says, okay, it's not what you see, it's what you know about what you see. Here's what I see and here's how I interact with it. It's like opening up a menu or going to Burger King. Some people see Burger King and they think food. Some people think McDonald's and they see food. When I see those things, I think, yeah, let me go ahead and just destroy my gut microbiome with the high sodium content foods that are literally being linked in the research to destroying colonies, could prove fatal to certain gut microbiome communities, which is very bad. Based on the testing that we have, yeah, a lot of people's guts are coming back really bad. And everybody that's been on the fast food craze, alpha and beta diversity is a little bit off. And a lot of other things are missing too. So I'm gonna go ahead and call a bunch of BS on the fact that eating those foods is good for you. So now, so far, what have we learned? We've learned about subconscious affirmations when we sleep at night. We've learned about fasting. We've learned about meditating, because just be honest with yourself. Are you where you wanna be? And if you're not, think about all of the things that you have to do to get there. And these are things that you can use to get there. People are gonna think you're weird when you don't go out to lunch with them. People are gonna think you're weird when you don't eat. People are gonna think you're weird for sitting under the tree for an hour. But I guarantee you, video on my website, I sit there for an hour and meditate with you to show you that you can do it. It's totally possible. Anybody can do it. There's no excuse except for the fact that you just genuinely don't want to change your life. And that's real. And that's a very scary looking bug on there. I'm gonna put my windows up because I don't know what you are. Oh, you look so frightening. What the hell are you? You're like black and yellow and possibly looking at me, so pass on that one. Anyways, now, what do we do, okay, when we want to eat? Because you're going to feel the urge to eat, you're going to get lightheaded, you're going to feel that, you're not hangry, have a Snickers, like, what the? That is the worst thing I've ever heard of in my life. They're like, oh, like your body's trying to run on a more cleaner fuel system for your brain? Just gook it all up with some Snickers. Like, I don't understand why these companies even exist anymore. It's just gonna take a couple generations for the younger generation to realize that these things are causing a lot of the mental illnesses that we have. And they may or may not be causing those mental illnesses. I don't know. I know when I stopped eating all of this junk that my life changed drastically. So, subconscious affirmations, fasting, meditation. Now we're gonna go over something called the microbiome health. So when you do break a fast, right, what are you supposed to consume? Like for me, if I do a 24-hour fast, I'm going to be having some warm water and lemon. And over a fast, if I get lightheaded and feel lethargic, I'm probably gonna have some warm water and some sea salt. Not the salt that has the preservatives in it. I kid you not, I have tested fasting for 3 days and then consuming the salt with the preservatives in it, and I got this banger of a headache that made no sense. I was like, this is something, the only reason, like if I take normal sea salt, I don't get a banger headache, but if I take this one over here that has these preservatives in it, I got a really bad headache. So, I mean, do your own research here. I've tested myself like a guinea pig. So for me, yeah, it's pure Himalayan sea salt, just a marginal amount. Find out your body weight, your height, and take the appropriate amounts of sodium, because too much sodium is bad for your gut microbiome. It's just, you don't want to have too much of it. You want to have just enough. Like if you knew how much how much sugar you needed in a day, you'd be like, oh my gosh, why am I eating all of these foods? It's just, we're not taught these things. So the microbiome health are one of the most important staples, which means you are what you eat, or the phrase called mind your gut and you keep your mind, which I created over the fact of I would fast for 3 days and then I would eat 100 grams of just sugar trash garbage. And I would feel like I hit the biggest wall in my life. I'd feel lethargic. I would feel completely incapacitated. I'm not even kidding. Like, I would fast for 3 days, and then I'm like, all right, so let's see if this is accurate. Sugar, I'm saying, is bad for people. That's a bad road. Sugar's bad for people in a sense of like too much, obviously in moderation, blah, 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 everything's good for you. That's what everyone says. But, same thing. Like, I disagree that fast food in moderation is good for you. I think it's trash across the board. So that's me. You're you. You decide to do what you want to do. I'm just here to tell you some things that changed my life. So now, hang on. I'm going to go through this big... mud. All right. So, when you break a fast, this is where you're going to learn what your gut truly is. For me, when I was doing 16/8 fasts, I didn't understand what I was supposed to break my fast with. So like, I started off breaking my fast with pizza. Like, this is before I even knew what any of the gut microbiome community was. I was like, oh yeah, like I fasted, I'm real good, my growth hormones are up, like I can absorb all these carbs and sugars. Like, nope, nope, like pizza, never eat pizza again a day in your life. It's not real food, it's just gelatinous sludge. So breaking your fast is really important. Like a 16-hour fast, you're gonna be able to get away with breaking your fast in a specific way. A 20-hour fast with a 4-hour eating window, you're gonna be able to get away with eating specific things a little bit differently. A 3-day fast, please don't eat pizza. Like, I guarantee you're gonna feel like garbage if you do it. I felt like garbage when I did it. So I highly, highly, highly do not suggest breaking your fast with foods that are on my 50 brain cell challenge that I tell you not to eat. So now you have a clear understanding of subconscious affirmations, you have a clear understanding of fasting, you have a clear understanding of meditating. Like, just do it for an hour. Don't do these 10 or 15 minute things. Like, a 10-minute ab workout is not gonna change your life. Like, yeah, it's better than nothing, but it's not what's actually gonna move the needle in your life. People are looking for things that are actually going to change their lives, and I promise you this is one of them. Like, I'm coming from a place of darkness, a place of hating myself, a place of not understanding anything, a place of eating 4,500 calories a day, including a 6-pack of ice cream sandwiches. So I didn't have any clue at all. I was a 220-pound gym bro that hated themselves and treated everyone else around me like trash. So you can take my advice or you can not take my advice. But if you're taking notes like a smart person, you've learned some things that will in fact change your life if you decide to do your own research or work with us directly. Now, breaking your fast, right? This is where it's kind of based on what your goals are in your life. Like, for some people, losing weight, awesome. When I would break my fast, I would fast all day, I would exercise, and then I would break my fast. And the reason for this is because of your cells being able to absorb sugars. So when you think about waking up in the morning, your cells are gonna look like this. They're kind of like closed off. You might be able to absorb some sugar. That's when people eat their sugar in the morning and their body doesn't go into the weight loss phase. It just goes into the I'm going to gain weight phase because you spiked my insulin, and insulin, IGF-1, body grow, brain slow. It's not gonna slow your brain down, but people who spike their insulin growth factor 1, bodybuilders even take it to get bigger. For us normal human beings, when we're spiking that insulin, it's signaling to our body that we wanna grow. So when we consume sugar, it puts us in this anabolic state versus like a catabolic state. So when you consume your sugars, your cells are gonna absorb those sugars, and if they absorb too many sugars, basically you're just gonna spill over and create extra fat. So like, that's why when people bulk, they have to eat more carbs and sugars to grow, and that's why they always gain body fat in these bulking phases, which can be mitigated by fasting. But you have to make a conscious decision when you wake up if you wanna eat what it is that you're going to eat. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't eat. Some people will fast. They will wake up in the morning, they will eat, and then they will fast from the rest of their day on, which at the end of the day, I could tell you that there's a best way to do it, but I'd be lying if I told you that there's a specific time to do it. What worked for me and what works for many others is just following the phrase, wake up, don't eat, let your glycogen deplete. Because at the end of the day, it's way easier to sleep 8 hours and then work 8 hours, and then when you get off, exercise, and then break your fast. For me, that worked. It worked to the point where that's still what I do. I guess that's the best thing I can say. That's the lifestyle that I live. I don't intermittent fast every single day, because you will deplete essential vitamins that you need. And then if you're not eating super nutrient dense meals, you're going to be deficient in certain vitamins that you need. And a majority of these vitamins that you're going to be deficient in are your water soluble vitamins, because when you're fasting, you're going to notice that you pee a lot more. And then you're going to notice that a lot of your water weight actually goes away. And that's just because water, carbs, sugars, learn all about them. Now, the next thing that I can teach you, just to recap, play affirmations when you sleep at night. It's really easy. You just play them, put them on a level that like you can hear them, that's not like bothering you. It's gonna be really uncomfortable for the first couple days when you do it. I promise you that one. I'm the type of person that like, if I hear a ticking sound, like I'm pissed and angry and I don't want to hear it. But then meditation helps you with that. So subconscious affirmations when you're sleeping. If you want to do fasting, please just contact a professional, contact a PCP, work with our dietitian on the fasting. If you want to go extra level of taking care of yourself, then you'll think about possibly skipping your lunches. For me, I skipped my lunches every single day. I was not trying to make friends with the people that I was working with at the landscaping company because I had goals in my life. And I knew the people that I was working with at the landscaping company, just based on the conversations that I would overhear, that was not the environment that was going to help me better myself. So that's why I listened to books. And then on lunch, instead of going to lunch with everybody, which would end up being like some fast food place, I would just stay on site. I would go find a tree. I would sit down and I would meditate. And that worked for me. So if you try it and you genuinely religiously do these things, I would be hard pressed to say that they're not going to work for you. Now, the microbiome health, that's where we have the microbiome testing, where I can't tell you what you need. I don't know what your DNA reflects. I don't know what your food sensitivities are. So for instance, if a dietitian writes you a diet plan without this information, they're guessing. It's literally a guessing game. But at the end of the day, guessing is sometimes better than nothing. Like if you had to choose between just randomly eating random foods and then working with a dietitian and just cleaning up your diet a little bit more, you're gonna experience changes. But why not get the appropriate information the first time around? Like I'm gonna tell you myself personally, I didn't have the right information the first time around. So that's why I was breaking my fast with pizza. That's why I was still eating a very terrible, crappy diet. It's just because I didn't know any better. I was taught a thought and I was thinking it. So trust me on that one, it is not good. Now, let's see, what else can I teach you here that's not gonna overwhelm you, that's gonna be pretty simple to add to your life? Exercise. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you need to go to the gym. It's true and false. Heavy exercise is very important. Trains your central nervous system. So I want you to learn about telomeres. I guess in a sense, learn about your telomeres. Read the book called The Telomere Effect. And this one's going to tell you that multiple versions of exercise are actually better for you. Like you don't need to go do the same thing every single day. So like biking, hiking, walking, swimming, lifting, qigong, yoga. The list is endless of different things. Rock climbing. There's a million different ways that you can choose to exercise. And it's up to you to do the ones that you enjoy. Like if you genuinely enjoy lifting every single day, awesome. More power to you, my friend, because there's a bazillion people out there in the world who they don't exercise. And I even skipped exercising for 6 months to just make sure that my programming of exercising fell off. And then I tried going back to the gym. It is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like, it is the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life, because I would go to the gym and I'd get there and I'd lift like 20-pound weights just because muscle atrophy. And it was just a nightmare. It was really, really hard for me. So if you're first starting out in the gym, good luck. Don't give up. I promise you, after a while, you're going to create a behavior in your brain where like going to the gym becomes a part of your identity. Like for me, exercising is a part of my identity. Fasting is a part of my identity. Meditation is a part of my identity. Listening to subconscious affirmations when I feel myself experiencing reality in a way that I don't want is a part of my identity. Paying attention to my microbiome health and consuming things that I believe are healthy based on the information that I have from scientific testing is a part of my identity. So When people are always like, what do you eat? What do you eat? It doesn't matter what I eat. It matters what you're supposed to eat, because your family tree, your genetics are different than mine. So when people are out here telling everybody what to eat, it's not true. Yeah, of course, if you eat healthier foods, you're gonna experience significant changes. But why not, once again, eat the foods that are actually designed to be healthy for you? So now, how can we give you some books here? Now, one of the really good books you're gonna learn is The Mind-Gut Connection. You're gonna learn about your connection from your gut to your brain. The telomere effect. You're gonna learn about this different versions of exercise that you can choose to do. For instance, waking up in the morning and going on a bike ride and listening to a book is good. That's what I used to do. I would bike like 10 miles. So I'd wake up in the morning, I would put my books in, and then I would get on my bike and I would just go ride and I would listen to my book. I would be in my own zone. So, that's one more thing that I can teach you. So now, a lot of people are like, when do you wake up? When do you sleep? There's a reason why people wake up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. And the reason for these, I believe specifically, is just due to the fact that if you are a genuine busy person and you have a busy life, there's no way you're gonna get anything done when everyone else is awake. You're not gonna have enough time to yourself in a day to be able to do the things that you need to do. So I definitely suggest waking up very early in the morning and having a set bedtime schedule. That means not looking at your phone, not looking at light, and creating a 1 hour bedtime ritual every single night. And this is the stuff where you can get into David Goggins, and he's gonna talk about, grow the F up. Because at the end of the day, I don't wanna go to bed at 9 o'clock. I used to go to bed at like 2, 3 a.m. because it was just more time for me to play video games. I'd wake up in the morning and I just thought it was normal to feel like crap. So at the end of the day, you're gonna be able to do the things that you wanna do, and I'm gonna do the things that I wanna do. For instance, I know I'm driving a little slower, and I know being on a bike is just, you don't wanna be stuck behind somebody. And then I'm driving my freaking 2003 truck that I love it. It has 119,000 miles on it, and I can drive it wherever the hell I want and beat it up. And I'm not gonna beat my vehicle up. When you go off-road, you kind of don't wanna take like a Toyota Prius off-road, but I digress. The main takeaway I wanna give you in this video are these 4 pillars. Listening to subconscious affirmations when you sleep at night requires 0 effort. Fasting requires 0 effort, because you literally just have to get over the lethargy. Like, I haven't eaten at all today. I can experience a little bit of the gut community shifting and the brain feeling that I feel. So it's very real. Doesn't matter how avid of a faster you are, or like a pro faster, you're still gonna have those days where you experience that. And that's always depending on what you ate the day previous. Like, if I have a high carbohydrate day, then I know the next day when I go to fast that I'm gonna experience that. And I'll only experience it for like 45 seconds. Like, I will have a part of the day where I'm like, boom, okay, I can feel it, and then just lights turn on. So, subconscious affirmations require 0 effort. Fasting, it requires 0 effort, but once again, you're doing nothing. And then what was the other one? Sorry, meditation requires a lot of effort, but you're once again doing nothing. So all of these things that I'm teaching you are just you doing nothing. And that's the secret. It's not doing everything that everyone else is doing. Like, look around you at every older male. There's a reason that they have a big belly. There's a reason that diabetes is off the charts. There's a reason that a majority of our society is sick. Like, if you ever go to a hospital and you look at everybody that's in a hospital, a majority of them have issues with their weight, and they have issues with their diets. And if you're in a hospital, they're not even gonna feed you healthy food. Would you like cake or a brownie? Oh, would you prefer whole milk or skim milk? Like, what are we even feeding people that are sick? Things that keep them more sick? I digress. And then the last one I want you to understand is, when you choose to eat food, down below this video, there's gonna be something called a 50 brain cell challenge. Now, the 50 brain cell challenge is just gonna teach you foods, ingredients, and things that I have actually tested. Like, I would go eat cheesecake to break a fast, and I felt like garbage. I would go eat McDonald's to break a fast, and I felt like garbage. I would go eat pizza. I felt like garbage. So you can do what you want to do. I'm just here to tell you things that I have done. And when you break a fast, make sure you break a fast with something called fermented carbohydrates, fermented foods, which means they have a relatively good fiber content. And the reason that they need to have a good fiber content is because if you're genuinely going to eat your carbohydrates, you have to realize that your blood sugar is going to spike. And the way around the blood sugar spike is simple. Introduce more fiber. It slows down the glucose release into your blood. So if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, because all I'm going to do on this page is just unload health topics that I've learned over the past 4 years. So hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And yeah, if you like the content, subscribe, like the video so more people see it. Check out the links down below. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that I bet you didn't know, because I didn't know these things. And they're not taught in our normal society that we live in. We're taught to like wake up, eat breakfast. Like, so we wake up and then we break our fast immediately, like what? So like, it's like almost a slap in the face to humanity where they're like, we'll make them eat breakfast. And we'll make them eat all of these ingredients and all of these carbohydrates and all of this sugar. And then we're gonna send them to a job they hate. And then if they're at a bigger corporation, we're gonna give them coffee, because we know coffee is increasing workers' productivity. So like, you think somebody's trying to take care of you until you do your research and you realize that it is impossible to find things that are healthy. And that's sad. So hope you have a beautiful day. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one.